Weibo Night Seat Grab 101 was never meant to be extraordinary. It was designed as a standard platform interaction, a familiar mechanism repeated year after year, bringing together multiple artists, fan communities, and engagement metrics under the same set of rules. Yet the moment the event began, something became impossible to ignore. Among dozens of participating names, one name repeatedly surfaced, not through controversy, not through sudden spikes, but through a sustained presence that quietly redirected attention: Xiao Zhan. And from that point forward, Weibo Night Seat Grab 101 stopped being just another engagement activity. It became a real-time demonstration of how influence actually functions in the modern Chinese entertainment ecosystem. This was not a story about who registered first, who posted the loudest, or who attempted to dominate the conversation. It was about how a single artist's gravitational pull reshaped the trajectory of a platform-wide event without overt signals or dramatic gestures. Seat Grab 101 operates on a simple premise. Artists participate under the same framework. Fans interact through posting, commenting, sharing, and checking in within super topics. Data accumulates, rankings shift, and visibility follows engagement. In theory, the system is neutral. In practice, neutrality reveals differences more clearly than advantage ever could. As the event progressed, it became apparent that Xiao Zhan's presence behaved differently from others. His engagement curve did not resemble a spike. It did not surge suddenly and collapse. Instead, it moved with a steady, unmistakable rhythm, drawing attention precisely because it did not behave like a typical campaign. Observers began to notice something unusual. Discussion threads tracking Seat Grab 101 repeatedly circled back to Xiao Zhan. Not because of isolated moments, but because his name never disappeared from the conversation. That persistence raised a deeper question. Why does Xiao Zhan consistently become a focal point whenever large-scale interactions unfold on major platforms? The answer does not lie in volume alone. In the Chinese entertainment industry, visibility is often driven by speed. Artists rise quickly, dominate briefly, and fade just as fast. Algorithms reward immediacy. Audiences are conditioned to move on. Xiao Zhan stands apart from this pattern. He is not sustained by constant exposure. He does not rely on controversy to maintain relevance. Instead, his presence operates on continuity. Whether actively promoting a project or moving through a quieter phase, attention toward him remains anchored at a high baseline. This baseline matters. For platforms like Weibo, short-term surges are easy to generate. Long-term engagement is far more valuable and far harder to secure. It requires users to return repeatedly, to participate without constant prompting, and to remain invested even when external stimuli are minimal. Xiao Zhan delivers exactly that. This is why, in the context of Weibo Night Seat Grab 101, his participation immediately carried different weight. The event did not elevate him. It revealed what was already there. Seat Grab 101 did not demand artists issue direct calls to action. There were no mandatory announcements, no coordinated public appeals. Participation was organic, shaped by how communities chose to respond. In Xiao Zhan's case, the response unfolded with quiet inevitability. His fan community, widely known as Xiao, has long been recognized for its structured approach to engagement. This is not a community driven by impulsive reactions or short-lived enthusiasm. It operates through repetition, discipline, and long-term coordination within platform rules. There were no dramatic campaigns, no disruptive tactics, no attempts to manufacture attention. Instead, interaction accumulated steadily. This steady accumulation is what transformed Seat Grab from a routine engagement activity into a measurable trend. Xiao Zhan's data line did not jump, it extended. As days progressed, it became clear that what was unfolding was not a competition of intensity, but a demonstration of endurance. In digital ecosystems, endurance is the rarest form of influence. When engagement sustains itself without escalation, it signals something deeper than hype. It signals habit, trust, and emotional attachment that does not require constant reinforcement. Once the event reached its most visible phase, the scale of participation became quantifiable. On the peak day of activity, Xiao Zhan Super Topic recorded more than 306,000 original posts, generating approximately 5.9 million interactions. His popularity index reached 97.41 million, placing him firmly at the top of the rankings. Yet the most revealing number was not the total. It was the margin. Compared to the artist in second place, the gap exceeded 6.5 million points. This was not a narrow lead shaped by timing or strategy. It reflected a structural difference in participation volume and consistency. At the same time, daily active users within Xiao Zhan's Super Topic rose well above the usual baseline. This suggested that Seat Grab 101 did not merely mobilize a core fan group. It expanded outward, drawing in casual observers and additional platform traffic. For platforms, this distinction is critical. Core fans are expected to engage. Broader user activation is far more difficult to achieve. When an artist's participation triggers both, it indicates influence that extends beyond fandom boundaries. This is where Seat Grab 101 evolved into something more than an internal activity. It became a stress test of whether an artist's popularity could sustain itself under neutral conditions. No special boosts, no exclusive privileges, just participation within the same framework as everyone else. Xiao Zhan passed that test without altering his behavior. This outcome did not surprise longtime observers. Xiao Zhan's public image has been built on consistency rather than volatility. His career trajectory has emphasized stable output over explosive visibility. His projects arrive with regularity, but not saturation. His presence remains visible even during quieter periods. This approach has shaped audience expectations. Fans are not trained to react only during peak moments. They are accustomed to steady engagement. That conditioning becomes visible during platform events like Seat Grab 101. For Weibo, this creates a predictable and valuable pattern. Engagement does not require constant stimulation. It persists because users feel anchored to a presence they trust. That anchoring effect is rare in an environment driven by novelty. As discussions surrounding Seat Grab 101 expanded, attention shifted beyond rankings. Observers began asking broader questions about fan culture, platform mechanics, and the evolving nature of influence. Seat Grab 101 became a reference point in those conversations. It highlighted a shift already underway in the entertainment industry. Influence is no longer measured solely by exposure or trending moments. Platforms increasingly prioritize metrics tied to retention, frequency, and sustained participation. In that framework, Xiao Zhan's performance aligned closely with platform priorities. The timing of the event added further significance. Seat Grab 101 took place during a period when audiences were anticipating Xiao Zhan's upcoming projects for 2026. Without aggressive promotion or media saturation, interest remained active. The event functioned as a bridge. It maintained visibility between creative cycles, reinforcing the connection between artist and audience, even in the absence of new releases. This is where digital engagement intersects with long-term career momentum. Seat Grab 101 did not generate interest in Xiao Zhan. It demonstrated how interest is maintained. It showed how an artist, a fan community, and a platform can converge organically. How engagement, when sustained over time, becomes a signal stronger than any isolated spike. It also exposed the limitations of short-term strategies. Sudden visibility fades quickly. Enduring presence compounds. Before rankings were finalized, before statistics circulated widely, before analyses filled timelines, the core of the story was already evident. Weibo Night Seat Grab 101 mattered because of who stood at its center, not because the event itself was extraordinary, but because Xiao Zhan's presence transformed it into something worth sustained attention. In the end, this may be the clearest indicator of influence in the current entertainment landscape. Not how loudly attention arrives, but how long it remains. And in Weibo Night Seat Grab 101, attention stayed.